My peoples. My peoples. Well, it looks like the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch may be set for June 21st. We got to talk about that. You know, just today I posted a video saying that it's been dragging. It's been taking too long. You know, considering the fact that they have both expressed that they wanted to do the rematch, I felt like, you know, how long is it going to take to iron that out? Well, today I've seen a couple of different sources say that this rematch is pretty much done and that they're just working on the undercard. Chris Fontaine, we'll see shit always change up with Tank. That's what I'm saying, man. Until I see an official announcement, I'm not sure that it's happening, but you know that the fact that multiple sources are saying that it's a done deal and they're just working on the undercard, that's a plus. JJ Zendejas, hello Jay Smith. What's the deal, my brother? Yeah, the first two in the building. So yeah, my peoples, is looking like we're gonna get Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach on June 21st, which is my birthday, by the way. So that'll be a heck of a birthday to have that fight. And I'm definitely looking forward to it, man, for the same reason you guys want to see it. Can Tank Davis beat Lamont Roach? Does Lamont Roach got Tank Davis's number? We need that rematch. This is a super anticipated rematch. You know, people want to see it. Chris Fontaine, yo, Jay, I want to talk about Canelo versus Skull. You know, there's people saying that that Skull may upset Canelo. And I just don't want to believe that, bro, because if Skull upset Canelo, then we know that there ain't going to be no Canelo versus Crawford fight. That's it. That'll be over right then and there. Damn, man, I really hope it don't play out like that, my brother. I really hope it don't. You know, I've been wanting to see Canelo versus Crawford. That's a fight that I've been calling for the last few years, 2-3 years. So, I mean, I haven't been calling for it for the last 2-3 years. That's an exaggeration. I started calling for that fight after Bud beat Spence and he started talking about Canelo. So, about 2 years ago. Chris Fontaine, that's why I wanted to talk about it. Score a big kind of dude. Yeah, he a big dude. Score is a real big dude. He has a lot of reach advantage on Canelo. He has that Cuban boxing style. You know, I did say that, and my expectations are that the first few rounds, Score is going to be complicated for Canelo. You know, Canelo's going to have to find his way on the inside. And he might take a few shots on the way in. Plus, Score has that footwork. He's going to try to keep him at a distance. So, Score versus Canelo, man, that's a fight that it can be more interesting than we think. But I still want to believe that Score is going to beat Canelo just because I want Canelo versus Crawford badly. You know, if like I said, man, if Score upset Canelo, that's it. No Canelo versus Crawford in September. We can forget about that. Dainara, hola. Saludos, Dainara. Now, I want to say real quick, when it comes to Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, I'm saying it way ahead of time, and I've been saying it. I feel like Lamont Roach has Tank Davis's number. I'm telling you. The way that he was able to fight him in that first fight, up close and personal, and not get caught with that big knockout punch, roll with the punches, make Tank Davis miss a lot, win a lot of exchanges on the inside, I feel like Roach got his number, yo. John Phantom, I'm still going with Roach. John Parent, we here. What's the deal, my brother? You already know what it is, man. We in the building. We got to see how this whole thing is going to play out, man. A lot of interesting boxing coming up. But right now, we want to see, at least I want to see, Canelo beat, Score, so that we could get Crawford versus Canelo. Capuana, hello, what's good, my brother? JJ's in there. Hit the like button, everyone. Hell yeah, my peoples. Hit that like button. And give me your predictions, too, man. Let me know who y'all think is going to win. Lamont Roach or Tank Davis. Who y'all got winning the rematch? Because it looked like it's going down on June 21st. And I'm telling you, Tank Davis is on the hot seat. He got a lot to prove on himself. He's going to be going into this fight with a chip on his shoulder. And Lamont Roach is super confident. Lamont Roach is feeling like he could whoop that ass. I'm trying to tell you, my peoples. John Parham, it's not official yet. That's a fact. It's not official yet. There are multiple sources reporting that they've already agreed and they're working on the undercard. Blue Blood Sports is one of them. So just because, when Blue Blood Sports reports something, he's usually dead on. Unless plans change, anything can change between the fighters. But I have a good feeling this fight is going to happen. Jay Jones, Davis by UD. I got you. That's fair. Look, Tank Davis is a heck of a fighter. And I understand that, a lot of people feel like he's going to be able to win that fight. Some people feel like Tank Davis is going to knock Lamont Roach out. Me personally, based on the way that first fight played out, I feel like Lamont Roach got his number. Honestly, I feel like he got his number. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. But I feel like Roach got his number, my peoples. Just business. In my opinion, send it up again. I got Roach in 7 rounds. But I still stand on this. I hope Dude Moms ain't there, though. But even still, you know me. I got Roach. R30. My guy. Tanks walks him to a decision. No knee this time. JJ Zendejas. He will walk in the front door again. I believe it. John Parham. Nice try, troll. That wasn't me, bro. William P. Yes, sir. Tank by UD. Just business. And I got to be the one to say this. Fuck all this cash shit. Get that legacy again. That's what I'm talking about, man. Fighters got to go after that legacy. Got to go. And you know what? With the legacy comes the money. When you make the big fights, the money comes along with that. When you beat the big names, the big checks come with that too. William P, hit the like button, my peoples. That's what's up. Motivation, my peoples. Hit that like button. John Parham, that was blue. Guess he mad. He got put in timeout and tried to act like he was me. Oh, man, that's wild. Lucas Duarte, 24. Let's go, Boca Juniors. I don't know what's Boca Juniors, my G. We talking about boxing. Let's keep it boxing, my boy. But yeah, man, it's split. And I say split because a lot of people feel like Tank Davis is going to win that fight. But there's also a lot of people telling me that Lamont Roach is going to pull it off again. I happen to be one of the people who feels like Lamont Roach may actually have Tank Davis's number. I really feel it because just the way that first fight played out. If it would have been the type of fight, Boca Junior or Real Madrid, okay, you don't understand that we talking boxing, so I'm going to have to get you out of here, my boy. But thank you for coming in. Peace. Yo, people don't understand that this is about boxing over here, man. Güero, Roach got it. So, my thing is the way that first fight played out. It's not like Roach went the distance or got a draw by running around and using a lot of footwork. Because then maybe I could have been able to say, you know what? He got away from Tank, but this time Tank is going to cut the ring, and he's going to be all over him. He's going to catch him. But it wasn't that. Lamont Roach showed that he could go toe-to-toe, blow for blow with Tank Davis. JJ's in there. Hello, guys. I hope I'm me right now. Let's talk boxing. That's what I'm talking about, my G. Let's talk boxing. That's what we doing. I don't know why people want to roll up in here talking about sports that we're not even addressing. William P. I don't know if they didn't get it when they saw Box Center. I don't know what kind of box they thought, if it was a cardboard box or something. William P. Y'all playing with my guy. Just business. It's like they don't understand the way Floyd did it. Like him or not, he only fought champions, though. Roach is better at toe-to-toe. Tank can't get his counters in. But if Tank switch it up, long fight. I think that Tank, his road to success in this fight, number one, he can't start off slow like he usually does and give up the first 3, 4 rounds, he can't do that with Roach. He already found out that he can't do that. So he gotta start faster, and 2, I think that he has to just use his footwork and box, not just try to think that he's gonna blast Roach out of there. We already know that he might not be able to. Bueno, let's talk politics. Just kidding. Oh, I'm glad, bro. I'm glad. John Parham, grape or cherry Kool-Aid. JJ's in there. Boxing politics is okay. Definitely, my brother. Definitely boxing politics is good business. We're trying to figure out, though, what's going to happen. Because right now it hasn't been confirmed that Lamont Roach versus Tank Davis is going down. I know that Lamont Roach said he want to get paid to do this rematch, and Tank Davis' team looked like they didn't want to pay him like that. He earned it. He earned it. And you know what? Lamont Roach already did the damage. And I say that he already did the damage because even though he didn't walk out of there with the W, but everybody's looking at Tank Davis like, what you gonna do? You better give him the rematch. You better. It's not gonna look good if you don't give it to him. So Tank Davis kind of on the hot seat. That's just the damage that Lamont Roach did. He did that damage. Lamont Roach's popularity is way up. His stock is way up. So that's it. Right now, I felt from the moment they called it a draw, I felt like Tank Davis is the one that needs the rematch. Not Lamont Roach. We already saw what he was able to do in that first fight. That's it. The damage is done. Tank Davis is the one that needs to now show that he can beat Lamont Roach. If Lamont Roach goes elsewhere, then everybody's going to be focusing on Tank and why he didn't give up that rematch. Just business, yeah. But me and you know from the ring that Roach takeaway of a lot of your natural techniques. Yo, Roach is that good, though. He did not allow Tank to maneuver on the inside. He did not allow Tank to land those huge counter punches that he usually knocked people out with. He was just not able to do it with Lamont Roach. That's why I'm telling y'all that I feel like Roach got his number. I really feel that way. Just like Ryan Garcia may have Devin Haney's number. Sometimes that happens, bro. Sometimes I could go back. One guy who had a top-level fighter's number was Vernon Forrest. He had Sugar Shane Mosley's number. He was the first guy to beat him. And then in the rematch, Mosley was the favorite again. And I was like, yeah, he caught Mosley by surprise. This time, Mosley's going to do it, man. He put the beats on Mosley even worse on the rematch. Why? Because he had Mosley's number. Look what happened to Forrest. Mayorga put the beats on Vernon Forrest. Beat him up. And then y'all saw what Mosley did to Mayorga. Put the Swiss beat on him. But it's like that. Styles make fights. And sometimes there's a guy that he may not be, better than you overall, but he just has your number. That happens. That happens, my people. JJ's in there. Roach earned his money. Pay him. I agree with you. He earned it. And it's like I've been telling people, yo, Shakur put that pressure on Tank Davis the moment he offered Roach a title shot. Because Tank Davis now got to think, damn, if I let this guy walk away and he lose to Shakur, everybody's going to be looking at me. Like, damn, yo, you went life and death with Lamont Roach. And Shakur put the beats on him. So that right there is enough of a reason for Tank Davis not to let Roach leave without that rematch. Arch 30. If I'm the fighter that doesn't want the rematch, I'll pay the money game and don't pay the guy so the fight don't look like a duck. I mean, we have to see, because to me, either way, no matter how they play it, either Tank is going to give up the rematch or he's going to look like a duck, no matter how he does it. Because, he could play the money game, but at the end of the day, if you know a guy wants to get paid and people feel like he deserves to get paid and you don't want to pay him or you want to lowball him, he's going to look like a duck. Just business. Ryan got 3 more fights. He will mop Tank and give Haney worse again. Y'all acting like that speed don't kill sometimes. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like Ryan Garcia, and I just said this, I feel like Ryan Garcia may actually have Devin Haney's number. Based on the way, because you got to remember, Devin Haney was winning rounds on Ryan Garcia, and there were times that he was outboxing him. But what's gonna happen when he eat those big shots, when he eat that big left hook? He's gonna be in trouble. So I feel like Ryan Garcia already knows how to land those type of punches on Devin, and that could pretty much dictate what's gonna happen when they fight again. JJ Zendejas, Poison Jr. Jones had Barrera's number, and Barrera was fucking good. That's facts, bro. You took it back. That's facts. And Barrera is way more accomplished than Poison Jr. Jones. But Poison had his number. That's what happens. Sometimes a fighter just got you. And Poison Jr. Jones was a top level fighter anyway. He was definitely a very good fighter. But Barrera is more accomplished and did more. But still, Jr. Jones had his number. LLYY, what's good, my brother? What up, guys? What's the deal, my G? William P. Floyd told Tank, don't take the rematch. Just business. Devin ain't a banger. You know that. Get these questions and likes up. Appreciate it, my brother. Y'all already know, my people. Hit that like button. Whoever's not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. John Parham. Mob Tank, probably not. Beat him, definitely. Possible. But for sure, put belt to ass on Devin. I feel that way, John. I really feel that way. The way that he beat Devin, like beat him up, like that was an ass whooping. I feel like he got his number. And I feel like the rematch will play out very similar to that one, where Devin is winning rounds, is, having his moments. But the moment Ryan start landing that big left hook, that's it. Unless Devin is going to really, really box, like, footwork. He's all over the ring, jabbing, little pity-patting here and there and moving around. If Devin makes it that type of fight, maybe he could win on the cards. But it's going to be tough. Because once he eat that first big left hook, it's going to be tough to use that footwork. It's going to be real tough. John Parham, PTSD will be an issue. I mean, I look, the fact that Bill and Devin still be talking about Ryan steroids, still be randomly bringing that shit up, it tells me that that beating affected them a lot. Because it's still up there. They still thinking about it. So we have to see how Devin is going to be stepping in the ring with Ryan Garcia once again after what happened in that first fight. Arch30, can't go all in on Ryan. Dude's so up and down. Ryan needs this payday, so he'll be on point this fight. I mean, when you say Ryan needs this payday, I don't know what you mean by that. Ryan makes a lot of money, bro. And he's been making a lot of money. And out of boxing, he also make a lot of money too. He got them sponsors and all that shit. So Ryan is not hurting for money. Of course, every fighter is trying to make money. Every fighter is trying to make that bag. So he's definitely trying to make that bag, but he's not broke. He's doing, he's doing very good. JJ Zendejas, remember everyone, you go in with a game plan until you get hit in the mouth. Mike Tyson said it best. Mike Tyson said it the way that it is. Everybody has a game plan until they get hit in the mouth. And when you get hit with that Ryan Garcia left hook, you're going to feel that. It's going to be quite painful. Quite painful. William P. I see the amateur boxers that died in the ring in Ghana 20 hours ago. I believe his last name was Stumps. Damn, man. That sucks to hear that. R.I.P. to that young warrior. Ryan Garcia, Chris Fonta. Bro, Ryan is up like 100,000. John Parham. Canelo intact if he wins rematch, in my opinion. John Parham. William, I just seen something like that. Blue Moon Tiger King. Anthony Joshua could fight Joseph Parker. What the fuck? Blue Moon King is already talking about Anthony Joshua again? Come on, bro. Yo, Blue Moon King. You got to listen to what we talking about, my brother. We talking about Ryan Garcia. We talking about Tank Davis. We talking about Lamont Roach. and you coming back again with AJ, bro. We can't be talking. We're not gonna be talking about AJ in every single live, my brother. Come on now. Come on now. Give us a little break with AJ, my guy. Like literally nobody in this chat is talking about AJ. And you're gonna open up with AJ right away? Bro, you gotta give us a break. You gotta calm down with AJ for a little bit. That's it. Jesus Christ. Just business. John, you bugging. You're gonna get Tank killed. Canelo is power combinations. Fight Tank, my nigga, but that fight will be like a gang violation, that fight. Tank can't see him. Nah, Tank and Canelo's not gonna fight. That the weight classes, they're too far apart. Jules, brother said, what the fuck, I'm dying. I'm saying though, god damn. John Parham. Just he asked, who is the two faces of boxing? Oh, okay. It's about the two faces of boxing, not about them facing each other, bro. Blue Moon Tiger King. Can you do me a favor, please? Can you time me out for 24 hours? Please do this. I mean, but after 24 hours, can you not come back and bring up Anthony Joshua right away, bro? Because you're doing too much with Anthony Joshua, bro. You got to be down with the conversation. You know, you want to come in and it's like, AJ. Bro, give us a break with AJ. That's not even what nobody talking about. JJ's in their house. Leave him alone. At least his internet is working. Jesus Christ. Jules, Dubois ruined my boy Joshua. Can we let brother sleep? William P. Blue Moon comes on. Damn, yo, Blue Moon going hard with AJ. John Parham. You got forever. Just business. Nah. Just good jokes, John. Respect. So listen, there's a lot of good fights coming up. And that's what we want to focus on. You know, these good fights that are coming up. I know that Blue Moon, he loves to talk about AJ. We got to understand, bro. Come on now. AJ, he don't even got a fight lined up right now. Blue Moon is driving us crazy with AJ already. Come on now. But I want to say, you know, there's some good fights coming up. Whichever what y'all want to talk about, I'm with it. You know, we got Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. We also got Teofimo Lopez fighting in May. We also got Canelo versus Skull. We got Conor Ben fighting Chris Eubank Jr. That's going to be an explosive fight. So there's a lot of good fights coming up. Right around the corner, all of these fights. You know, 2025 is an amazing year for boxing. And I'm interested in seeing who's going to be upset. Because every year, there's a top-level fighter who gets upset. And as soon as they get upset, what happened? What the fans say? Oh, he's a hype job. He got exposed. Oh, blah, blah, blah. William P. Devin loses. I mean, listen. Devin Haney is fighting a very tough opponent. I've been telling people, Jose Ramirez is not a joke. He got punching power in both hands. He's a pressure fighter. He's going to come forward, let them hands go. How is Devin Haney going to react when he gets caught with that shot? When he gets caught with a big punch, how is he going to react? Just business. A chat, do say in the chat how much you think Roach should get versus Tank. And name your top two for boxers of the year. Heavyweights are trash. So listen. It's hard to put a number on how much money Lamont Roach should get. You know, it's really hard to really put a number and be honest about it, because I could just make a number out of thin air. Oh, give him $5 million. Oh, give him $10 million. You know, none of us up in here are working with millions of dollars to just be throwing millions of dollars out like that, right? I would just say that he got to get a significant raise over what he got on that first fight. Whatever amount they paid him on that first fight, you can't pay him the same thing. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Lamont Roach is a lot more famous today than he was before he fought Tank. You got to pay for that. Not only that, because of the controversial finish. Based on that controversial finish, Tank Davis need that rematch to prove that he can beat Roach. He needs it. I'm telling ya, Lamont Roach does not need a rematch. He already got a title shot that he could get from Shakur Stevenson if they don't give him the rematch. Tank Davis knows this. So Lamont Roach don't care about the rematch. He already did what he had to do to make his stocks go up. But Tank Davis, on the other hand, if he don't take that rematch, it's not going to be a good look for him. So, of course, he want that rematch. For the heavyweights, Dubois looking real good. Joe Joyce is looking real good. Usyk, of course, best heavyweight, arguably, of this era. John Parham, just 60-40 in my opinion. And I'll say B. Norman will be 1 and Abdullah Mason. But, Brian Norman. Yo, listen, Brian Norman Jr., I need to see that fight with Boots. Pay him. Pay him. Hash Bass, Shakur is capping. You see, you're only saying Shakur is capping because you hate him. Lamont Roach already said that he already spoke with Shakur. And they already made an agreement with each other. If I don't get the rematch, me and you going to fight. They already spoke about it with each other personally, bro. It's not just internet talk. So the hate that you got going on Shakur, it doesn't even work with that one because Lamont Roach already said, me and Shakur already spoke. If you don't give us the rematch, we going to fight Shakur. So Shakur's not capping. You capping because you be hating on him. Chris Fontaine, I'm telling you, Tank don't have no raid to kill Roach. We going to find out. We going to find out, my peoples. Black Jericho, salute Jay Smith. We here. Ooh, we in the building, my peoples. What's the deal, my brother? William P. Shakur is the best defensive fighter, hands down. But Lamont will give him a test. I believe so. I believe Lamont Roach will give Shakur a real good. But then again, Lamont Roach already showed us that he's an elite level fighter. So I'm telling you, nobody's watching Lamont Roach. He's going to give everybody a tough fight. Just business. True, respect John. We forget, though, what about the boxer Ennis? Listen, Jerome Boost Ennis, he's fighting Eimantas Stanionis. Trust me, he's a lot better than what some people think. For whatever reason, people don't got... Is this culture in boxing where if a guy don't have 30 wins, he's probably a bum. He's a nobody. And we should already know the deal. We should already know about these European fighters who have 500 amateur bouts, turn pro in their mid-20s. So they be having 10 wins, 15 wins. And if you don't know, if you don't really follow them like that, you're like, oh, nah, they average, they regular. They don't even got that many wins. You don't understand, these guys are elite level fighters. Stanionis, look, I'm telling you guys, and I've been saying it. I want you to remember when the fight actually happens. Stanionis is going to give Boots his toughest fight to date. Because Karen gave him a tough fight. But Karen was more because he kept moving, that constant feint, that style. So it was very hard to time. Boots couldn't stop him. But Boots beat him in both fights. He just couldn't stop him. But it was no question of whether or not he beat him. He beat him up. Stanionis, Karen never had a moment where you was like, yeah, he's having his moment. He might beat Boots. That never happened. Karen got beat up by Boots in both of those fights. He just didn't get stopped. Stanionis, my peoples, I promise you, he's going to give Boots a tough fight. And he's going to win some rounds. And at times it might even look like he's going to win the fight. And Boots is going to have to make some adjustments mid-fight to walk out of there with the W. The thing is that I'm rocking with Boots to win that fight because his bag of tools is so deep. Boots got a lot of tools in his arsenal. And, from the southpaw stance, from the orthodox stance, Boots can do a lot. He can do a lot. So that's why I feel like he's going to win that fight. But it's going to be a tough fight. He's not just going to walk him down and just beat him up. John Parham, if Norman land same punches on Boots, it's lights out. We saw the power. We saw the power in Brian Norman Jr. And we know that sometimes Boots can get irresponsible with the defense. He can get irresponsible and get hit with some good shots. And you see what Brian Norman can do. Black Jericho, I think Boots is overrated. Now, to be honest, I don't think he's overrated. I really believe Jerron Boots Ennis is a very, very special talent. And it's going to be one of those guys that we're going to talk about him for a long, long time. Like, if he loses to Stanionis, or if he loses to Brian Norman Jr., I still believe he'll be able to move up to 154, become a champion, and keep accomplishing things. You know, it's not going to be one of those, oh, he lost and he'll never be a champion again. You know, it's not going to be that way. Boots is really a special fighter. Hash Bass. Jerron will make it look easy. Just box and hide that power. I mean, I don't believe that he'll be able to make it look easy. Where some fighters are that good that you just can't make it look easy. Like, look, Boots couldn't make it look easy against Karen. Fought him twice and couldn't make it look easy. So that shows you sometimes we don't know a fighter, and because we don't know him or we don't follow him like that, we assume he's going to be easy work. Nah, bro, Stanionis, ain't nobody's going to make it look easy against him. Nobody. John Parham, overrated us a little much. But an L will hurt him. I agree. Just because Boots hasn't even been able to beat a big name yet. So if he takes a loss on the way to get there, it's going to hurt him. But I still think, Boots is a very special fighter, and he's going to accomplish a lot in the sport of boxing. Black Jericho. If he loses to those two and moves up, then he loses, then not special. We got to want and see, not proven in my eyes. I mean, I've seen enough from Boots to know that he's special. He's not going to, listen, he's not going to lose. He's not going to lose to Stanionis. He's not. He's going to beat him. Brian Norman Jr., I'm not ready to predict that fight yet. Let's wait. If they agree to fight each other, I'll make a prediction. But honestly, I'm not ready to predict because I am a believer in Brian Norman Jr. I've been, not because of this knockout from Saturday. Those who know me long enough know that I've been saying, Brian Norman Jr. is for real. He's for real, and he's about that smoke. I got a video up when I'm talking to his pops. And when I spoke with his father, with Brian Norman Sr., he told me straight up, we want Boots. That's what we want. How many people out there are saying, I want Boots? Not a lot, not a lot. Brian Norman Jr., a special fighter. Jay Jones, let's get Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. I would like to see that fight. I would like to see it. But I think that Errol Spence need a tune-up. If he goes straight for Keith Thurman, I think he's going to get beat. Keith already got his tune-up in, look real good, look real sharp. Spence inactive for 2 years. I don't think he could go straight for Keith Thurman. It might be a problem. Germán Quesada, Errol Spence versus Madrimov. Oof. That could be a tough opponent for Errol. I mean, Errol gotta come back versus somebody, but I don't know, man. I think Errol needs an easy win. Somebody is gonna come back and get a nice easy win. That's what I think, honestly. I don't think he should come back and right away go for somebody that's gonna have power or somebody that's really good like that. Could be a problem, man. It could be a real problem. Hash Bash. Norman getting caught with that left shows he needs to work on defense. I mean, I don't know what you talking about, my brother. Everybody gets caught. Everybody gets caught. Who doesn't get caught? Come on now. It's boxing. People gonna get hit. It's just how often you get hit. With how many shots you get hit per fight. And Brian Norman Jr. doesn't get hit a lot. He got caught with it. Everybody gets hit, my brother. It's boxing. That's part of the game. That's what you sign up for. Germán Quesada, Ennis in 154. The guy is huge for 47. I mean, I know that if he's not able to, if they realize that they're not going to be able to go for the undisputed crown, if they're not going to be able to make that fight happen with Brian Norman Jr., I think they might go after Mario Barrios. But again, Brian Norman Jr. is going to be in the way of him going for undisputed. So, déjala prendida, amore. Déjala prendida. So, I think that Boots, that's why I keep saying, man, I feel like Boots and them, they're going to have to pay Brian Norman Jr. because he really wants to go for undisputed. LB Marshall, Box Center, the boxing channel, we coming. Errol need a super tune-up. LB Marshall, my brother, I agree. Errol Spence, he need a tune-up. And when I said tune-up, I'm talking about like a real easy fight. A guy that doesn't have such a great record, that is going to be an automatic easy win for him. Pick up that confidence, getting rhythm in a new weight class, all that good stuff. Black Jericho. I got Madrimov beating Errol right now. If he came back and fought him first. I mean, look, man, I don't think Errol Spence should come back and fight Madrimov right away, or anybody at that level. Madrimov is an ex-world champion, a legitimate champion. I mean, that's just me, but you know Errol Spence had always said, no tune-up. He not down with the tune-up. I think that's a bad idea. After 2 years of inactivity, I think not having a tune-up would be a real bad idea. That's my perspective. LB Marshall. Brian Norman Jr. is the truth. A lot of fighters don't call out Boots. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people don't want to say Boots' name. They don't. Yet Brian Norman Jr., that he really want that fight. Legit. But at the same time, they want to get paid what he's worth. Pay the man. And make it happen. And look, this is my point, my peoples. Hash bash. Spence versus Lara at 160. That could be a good fight. You see Spence versus Lara. Lara's at the tail end of his career. He don't carry a lot of power. That's a good fight. I agree with that one. That's a good fight for him to come back. But Lara's very skilled. I'm not sure if that's going to be good for a first fight back. Like, he's not going to hurt Errol. But he's very skilled. And even in his last outing, he showed that he still got that movement. Black Jericho. Errol need about 5 fights before you can put him back in there with the big boys. Nah. I think a real easy tune-up and then a contender. A real easy tune-up and then a contender. If he get past those 2 fights, he ready for the big dogs. John Parham, I feel Boost will ignore Norman. You got to get StreamYard so you can get live interviews. Oh, facts, my brother. I will get StreamYard. I just didn't want to get the free trial, because when you get the free trial, there's a lot of missing options. You got to have the watermark and all that. But trust me, I'm going to have StreamYard. I'm waiting to finish my studio. Once I have the studio and I'm doing the live from there, I'm going to be on StreamYard. Black Jericho. Spence and Lara will never fight. I don't think so. I don't think so either. JJ's in there. Lara might surprise him. Never know. I mean, the thing about Errol, man, is that we just don't know. We don't know if he's going to come back at 154. We don't know if he's going to come back at 160. We don't even know if he's going to come back at all. We don't even know if Errol, it's interesting because Errol Spence was a champion, a 3-belt champion. Great fighter. But after he took a beating, he's been out of boxing for 2 years. So at this point, it's like, is he even going to come back? And I feel like Errol Spence, he's made a lot of money, made some millions of dollars. And if he got some good investments going on, if he got, if he's generating money, then he should even consider just staying retired. Because he took some nasty punishment. Y'all got to remember the type of fight that he went through with Bud Crawford, man. He took some nasty punishment. And sometimes a fighter takes those type of punches, they not the same again. That's why I was telling people, when he was going to come back and go straight for Fundora, I have Fundora beating him. I was like, Fundora's going to beat him. You don't come back from taking that type of beat down straight into a Sebastian Fundora. I feel like he's going to get beat up. And look, he pulled out of that fight. Probably knew what was going to happen. Ozzy, we'll be surprised if Tank stops Lamont in that rematch. Honestly, I would be surprised. I don't think that Tank is going to be able to stop him. I think that, like I've been telling people, I feel like Lamont Roach got his number. I really do. We're going to find out. Hopefully the rematch does happen for June 21st, and we'll find out. The funny thing is, if Lamont Roach beats Tank, guess who he's going to fight next? He's going to fight Shakur Stevenson. I promise you that. It's going to be Lamont Roach and Shakur Stevenson. Why? Because Shakur told him, Lamont Roach already stated that Shakur told him, if you win this fight, let's unify. And he was like, bet. And then after the draw, Shakur told him, yo, if they don't give you a rematch, I got you with a title shot, bro. And he's already verbally agreed with Shakur, like, yo, if he don't give me that rematch, we gonna get it in. We gonna go to work. So guess what? If Lamont Roach is able to upset Tank Davis, we're gonna see Shakur Stevenson and Lamont Roach after that. JJ's in there. Spence might be damaged good. He might be, bro. He really might be. And honestly, based on what I've seen from Errol Spence, I think he shouldn't fight again. I think he should stay retired. William P, bro, these dudes still train. They just go inactive, then back active. Not Errol Spence, my guy. If when you're saying these dudes still train, you're talking about Errol? Nah. Not Errol, bro. Errol's been that fighter who between fights, he be gaining mad weight, be partying, drinking, smoking, hanging out. In fact, I was talking to a couple of people, insiders, not average Joes that just watching TV, insiders, who told me, yo, Errol Spence, if he don't got a contract signed, he don't step in the gym. Errol Spence do not step in the gym until a contract is not signed. That's why you see Errol Spence between fight with a little gut, looking chunky in the face. Errol Spence is not one of them fighters. He's not a gym rat. Errol Spence train when he's getting ready for a fight. That's how he do, my brother. I'm telling you. Kevin Gooney. I want to see Edgar Berlanga versus Jaime Munguia fight happen. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. You know, honestly, I got Jaime Munguia beating him. I got Jaime Munguia actually beating him. And I got Caleb Plant whooping his ass. I want to see those fights. Berlanga said himself, you know, that he'll fight Plant, but he wants Munguia first. He feels like that's going to be an easier fight for him. Hash Bash, Errol Spence needs a belt, and he will put pressure on the other champions, whatever way he decides to fight. I mean, you can't really once you got a belt, you can't really put pressure on the other champions. If, you know, they'll fight you if they want to. That's just the way that it goes. You got to remember, once you got a belt and another person got a belt, y'all both in different sanctioning bodies. So people got to agree to fight you. That's why the same way that Errol Spence and the PBC froze Crawford out for a title shot, they could do that same thing to Errol. You gotta understand that, my guy. PBC is not in a good position right now because the same thing that they was doing to other people, now other people could do to them. No, we're not giving you a title shot. Go fight somebody we never heard of in Amazon Prime with PBC. So he's the one that's gonna be looking for opportunities. Kevin Gooney, they both hit hard. Ernest Morales, Boots will get a bad look if he avoids Norman because there's no one else. I mean, there's Barrios, because remember, Barrios got a title too. But at the end of the day, Barrios is not even mentioning Boots. I know he'll fight him because Barrios is a warrior. And if that fight is offered to him, of course, they got to pay him right. I'm sure he'll take it. But at the end of the day, Brian Norman Jr. is calling out Boots, is saying, yo, let's unify. I want you. So it's hard to say, yo, Boots trying to fight everybody except Brian Norman Jr. What's going on over here? What's going on? We got to see how that plays out. JJ Zendejas, that sounds about right for Spence. And the older you get, you can't train like that. I'm telling you, Errol Spence, you know, we're talking about 2 years. We're talking about 2 years without a fight. That's why I think we all agree he need a tune-up badly. Errol Spence can't just show up and fight one of the big boys. He's going to get beat up again. Troy back. Errol KO Bud after Canelo KO Bud. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy, Troy. How you going to say Errol KO Bud after the type of beating that Crawford gave him? You wilding out. And you've been inactive for 2 years, you gonna KO Bud? Man, he don't got no chance. He don't got no chance with Crawford, bro. You gotta be trolling with that. Ernest Morales. Berlanga has kind of promoted himself. He will get served by Plant and Munguia. I mean, listen, Berlanga, to me, come across as delusional. It seems to me, at least, that he's not as good as he actually think he is. He's good, but he don't look like he's amongst the elite. Errol did it at 147, and Errol's still a money fight. Bro, I don't know how you're getting that someone who's been inactive for 2 years is still a money fight. Inactive for 2 years, not a champion. Right now, Errol Spence is irrelevant, bro. He's irrelevant. He's not a money fight. He's only a money fight if he get in there with a big name. If he get in there with an average opponent, with a tune-up, that fight's not going to be on pay-per-view. That fight's not going to sell. It's going to be a small fight. So he's not the money guy. No way. John Pound, let's get to 20. My peoples, we got 16 likes, man. 4 more at least. Let me get that 4 more so we could get to 20. Golly. Working hard for these likes. John Parham, off subject. About to make sure to like and comment on Jay Smith Shorts. It helps with the algorithm and subscriptions. Yeah, no doubt, my brother. And listen, my peoples, them short videos, I drop them every single day. 2, 3, 4, depending. But I'm always dropping videos. And if you check them out, you're going to see my videos, they look different than everybody else's. My shorts, they look different and they better. They better than what you see on other channels. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but them shits is better. Check them out. And y'all say what it is. Arch 30, going 3 years without a fight tells me everything I need to know about a fighter's motivation. There you have it. And he could have came back and fought Fundora. And he dropped out of that fight at 154. JJ Zendeja, Spence has to work his way back in the mix to even talk like that. Of course. Of course. Right now, he's completely out of the loop. Look at Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman had been inactive for a year and change, I think. And look, he came back to fight a guy that we never heard of in Australia. Like on a Wednesday. That shit was like on a Wednesday. Most people didn't even know he was fighting. Why? Because when you've been inactive for that long, you become irrelevant. A lot of people, we're talking about Errol Spence. A lot of people ain't talking about Errol, my people. A lot of people ain't talking about Errol. Go to the different YouTube channels. Who's posting about Errol Spence? So he's pretty much irrelevant right now. And when you're irrelevant and you don't even have a fight lined up, you don't even have anything going on, there's nothing to even talk about. We just happen to be talking about him. LLYY, Jay Smith. When can we find your fight video with better quality? I can't find it. Did you see the last one that I posted? I posted my fight video, but that's the only one that I have available. I will find the link where they posted the actual fight because it was televised and everything. So I'll find the link to that one so you could go on that channel, but I got to find it. I don't have it myself. Punisher, will you say Canelo is the number one most important thing in boxing? Right now, he is. We got to keep it 100. Right now, Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing. The reason why and what makes Canelo the face of boxing is that you got to look at his level of popularity. That's simple. You could go in the street with a picture of Canelo and show it to somebody who never watched a boxing match in their life, and they might be able to tell you, yeah, that's Canelo. And they're not even a fan of boxing. That's how you know somebody's popularity is next level. When people who don't even follow the sport know who that is. Arch 30, good point about the Thurman comeback. If he lost to that kid, he would have known his place. You see? Bingo. If Thurman would have lost his comeback fight versus that kid that we never heard of, it would have been over for him. That's it. He's done. He's cooked. But he won that fight, and he won in spectacular fashion. So if he don't get hurt, if he can stay active, Keith Thurman can work himself into a title shot. He actually can. Punisher, not Canelo. I said cardio. Cardio? Viz, hopefully we see Tank versus Roach rematch. It looks multiple sources are saying that it is happening, that they already agreed, and they're working on the undercard. No official announcement yet. So we have to wait for that. But fingers crossed, definitely want to see Canelo and Lamont Roach. Tank and Lamont Roach mix it up once again and see who's gonna be the guy, who's gonna win. But I agree with your Canelo take. Ernest Morales. Who has Errol really beaten? He proved he can beat 135ers, Mikey and Swift, and who else? Nah, bro, Errol Spence is legitimate. You gotta remember, Errol Spence beat Sean Porter, who's a really good fighter. He also beat, what's the name of the guy from the UK when he got his first title? That Crawford beat him as well. I can't remember. Listen, Errol Spence is beating some very good fighters. He got a good resume. When you say who he beat, it's like people only got to be superstars for us to acknowledge him. Nah, he beat a lot of good fighters, my brother. Got his resume solid. William P. 556 cardio is number 1 in boxing. 556 cardio? You mean Canelo, I'm guessing. So yeah, my people, listen. When we say who he beat, that's not a good question, my brother, because at the end of the day, he beat the guys at welterweight division that was able to make him a 3-division champion. A 3-belt champion. He beat Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is a multi-division champion and a unified champion. He beat Sean Porter, another champion. I can't remember the guy from the UK, man. The guy he beat for his first time. Kell Brook, there you go. Appreciate it, Troy Back. He beat Kell Brook, another champion. So Errol Spence, he got them 3 belts the hard way. No vacant titles, no email titles. He beat 3 champions, my brother. Gotta respect that. William P. 556 cardio is number 1 in boxing, but got to have skills or know how to fight. Oh yeah, that cardio is super important. Cardio is important. If you're gonna run out of energy, people just need to walk you into deep waters and you're gonna be done with. Cardio is like stamina, like a big engine where you can throw hands and don't get tired. And you see the difference between the fighters that can go 12 rounds and just let their hands go for 12 rounds and fighters that don't have that type of stamina. Let me give you an example. Deontay Wilder. I've seen him in an interview where he was saying, I don't run. I don't need to run. I don't do no running. Why? Because Deontay Wilder, when he was younger, stronger, he just needed 4 or 5 rounds to knock you out. You could do, if you're working out good, 4 or 5 rounds, you could do that. But if you're not running, after the 7th round, 8th round, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. And we saw that with Wilder. Wilder knocked some people out after the 7th round, but it was like, boom, and caught that big shot, knocked him out. But if you're not running at all, like he said he wasn't, you're going to feel that. And we saw Wilder in those Fury fights, how he didn't have nothing left in those rounds at the end. We saw it. That last fight when he got stopped, this man could barely stand up. Why? Because he wasn't doing his cardio. He wasn't doing his running. He wasn't getting that stamina where it needed to be so he could go 12 rounds. That's super important. People underestimate that. Arch 30. Not only did Errol Spence beat quality opponents, but he walked them down. Yo, don't forget that Errol Spence used to be called a body snatcher. It's a reason why they used to call him that. Errol Spence used to dig hard and consistently to the body and hurt you. Take that footwork away from you. Make you hesitate. Make you keep your guard down here trying to protect your ribs. Errol Spence was that dude. That one loss versus Terrence Bud Crawford don't change the things that he's been able to do. The opponent that he was able to beat. So I got respect for Errol Spence. You know, real talk. Punisher. Wilder only needed to be perfect for 1 second in his prime. There you have it. He never used to go running. He didn't used to do things to have that stamina to go 12 rounds and be active. He didn't need it. But eventually, that caught up to him. Eventually, he didn't need it. He didn't need that stamina, and he just didn't have it. With Tyson Fury, he was a sitting duck in those later rounds. And that's the thing. Tyson Fury does run. Running should be part of every fighter's training. Every fighter should run. But when you're younger, you can get away with it. If you're 21, 22, 23, you can even get away with not running because you have so much natural energy and you're so strong that you can still pull it off. You can still go the distance without that running. But once you get, especially to your 30s, that's it. It's a wrap. If you're not running, you're going to get it. Once somebody take you the distance, if you haven't been running, your ass is going to run out of gas. It's the inevitable. That's why I brought up Deontay Wilder, because he specifically said that he don't run. Well, look what happened to him when he went to those later rounds. Deontay Wilder was banking on that big punch, but when that big punch didn't land, guess what? In those later rounds, he didn't have the power to land that big punch no more. He didn't have that energy. JJ Zendejas, if you don't do cardio, you will be out of gas. That's a fact. That is a fact. You have to do it. And the majority of boxers, they do a lot of running. Most boxers do it. Those few that don't run, they end up paying the price at one point or another. Why? Because you don't go running, you have a good fight, knock your opponent out, and now you feel confident. Oh, shit, I don't got to run. I'm good. But when somebody take you to the deep waters, you're going to drown. Punisher. Fury looks like he only runs to the kitchen when the food is ready, but man, can he fight. You know, Fury, he a little flabby and whatnot, but he does a lot of running. He does a lot of running. I guarantee you, he got to do 4 or 5 miles when he's in training camp. And definitely running 4 or 5 times a week. I promise you that. And that's why Tyson Fury, you know, at those later rounds, he could still let them hands go and knock you out. That stamina is serious. Real serious. And there's just fighters that you could see that they don't do cardio like that. They're focusing on being strong, on hitting hard. Look, AJ, I don't know how much he runs. Because I've seen AJ, like, by the 8th round, 9th round, looking like he's out of gas already. And it makes me wonder, damn, was he running out there or what? He look real tired right now. Punisher. Now, El Musa. I just heard Ron versus Rolly, the winner, gets off the hospital. I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean that the winner, the other one's going to send the other one to the hospital or something? Punisher. Yeah, Fury still has stamina. Yo, Fury has some serious stamina. You can see him letting his hands go in the championship rounds. Hash Bass. It's only one fighter that didn't run was James Toney. He just sparred. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but I don't know what you mean. It's only one fighter. There's a lot of fighters that don't run, brother. A lot of fighters. A lot of fighters don't run. They feel like, and usually it be guys who could knock you out, who feel like, I'm going to end this fight. I don't need to go the distance, so why? And it end up catching up to them. It eventually catches up to everybody. Ernesto Morales, el que no corre no llega. That's facts. If you're not going to run, you're not going to get there. Them championship rounds, it's about stamina. El Musa, they both mental. Telling you, my peoples. The fighter, listen, the best fighters, the ones that are like the elite, amongst the elite, they run a lot. A lot. If you look at Floyd Mayweather, this fool used to be running like 10 miles, bro. And I promise you, the overwhelming majority of boxers have never ran 10 miles. That's a lot. 10 miles, we're talking about close to 2 hours. Well, depending how fast you're running. And I know Floyd run pretty good. Hour and a half. Hour 45 minutes. And Floyd Mayweather used to do that like nothing. Terrence Crawford, I guarantee you, when he run. Seriously. Shakur Stevenson, Clarissa Shields. All these fighters that you see that they're at the top of their game, they run, bro. I follow them on Instagram. I see them running. And I know because I run. And when I tell you I run, my people. Like, yo, I'm 46 years old, and the overwhelming majority of fighters, I'll outrun them. Like, at short distance, they'll beat me if it's running really fast, a quick sprint. But a 5-mile run, a 6-mile run, a 10-mile run, a 15-mile run, a 20-mile run, most fighters never ran 20 miles. And I ran 20 miles a bunch of times. So I know about running. And I can tell you, the fighters that don't run like that, they end up paying the price. They end up paying for it. Troy back, running is bad for boxing. Too much, that is. Too much running is bad, period. If you're not a runner, you can't be running too much because you're going to mess up your knees, you're going to mess up your back, you're going to have problems. But if you're in good physical shape, what is too much running? You have to take that into consideration. You know what too much running is? For example, for me, you know what too much running would be? Running 7 days a week. Why? Because I run 6 days a week. I run Mondays through Fridays. I rest on Saturday, and I do my long run on Sunday. So before doing a long run, I need that Saturday rest. Let my body heal before I could do that long run. So I need that 1 day a week. If I try running 7 days a week, which I've done it before, but it's easier to get injured. If you run too much, you can hurt yourself. So that's why too much running is bad. But if you're fighting and you're not running at least 3-4 times a week, you're going to be in trouble. Now, if you're fighting, if you turn pro recently and you're fighting 4-rounders and 6-rounders, you could run 3 times a week. That's good enough. But if you're already the type of fighter who's fighting 10 rounds and up and championship rounds, you need to run 4-5 times a week, and you need to run consistently. If not, you're going to pay the price. Once you get taken to deep waters, you're going to pay. Badly. John Pound, let's see. Chat, Prime Lennox or Fury? Ooh. Chat, y'all let it be known what's up, man. I'm not ready to answer that question, man. I'm not ready to answer that question because I know Prime Fury, he a problem. But damn, yo, Prime Lennox Lewis. And that's the thing. Prime Lennox Lewis, he a big dude as well. And he can box. You know what? I'm going with Prime Lennox Lewis. I think that he'll be able to outbox Fury. And he'll have, Fury got great footwork. They're going to be on par when it comes to the footwork. But I'm going with Lennox Lewis. Rocking with Lennox Lewis for that fight. Damn, that would have been an explosive showdown. Real talk. Explosive showdown. William P. Yo, that boxer that died went into cardiac arrest and fell down. And they was counting, but he was dead. Crazy video. Damn, they was counting while he was down like that. That's cold, bro. That's cold like that. Damn. Sorry to hear that, man. That's why, listen, when I hear that a fighter died, whether it was an amateur, a professional, a C-level fighter that we never heard of, but that's when I always go back to thinking like, yo, this is why we need to respect all fighters. Because you literally put your life on the line when you get in the ring. And it can happen. It can happen. It has happened. My peoples, you already know. We got them 18 likes, man. Let me get 2 more. Let me get to 20. William P. He was a professional from Ghana and a champion. I'm guessing he was a local champion, like a champion in Ghana, one of the divisions that they got over there. I'm sad to hear that, man. I'm really sad to hear that. You don't want You don't want to see a guy lose his life in the ring. And in reality, that's a stain to the whole sport. Even if it's a guy all the way in Ghana that we never heard of, but still, because the whole sport is a reminder for everybody of what can happen when you step in the ring. That can happen to anybody, my people. That's why I tell everyone, yo, when I signed that contract to fight, I was reading through it real fast. Cause that's the thing. Let me tell you guys something about a contract when you're making your pro debut. When you're making your pro debut, it's not gonna be a lot of money, and it's not gonna be a lot of stipulations on there. You're not a big star. You're not fighting against a big star who's demanding a bunch of different things. So while these stars are signing a contract that got like 5, 6, 10 pages, all these different stipulations, when you're making your pro debut, your contract just got like 2, 3 pages. It's not a lot. So you could like sit there and read your contract in like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, I was reading through it real fast. And when I got to that part, I slowed down like, oh shit. Damn, you could get killed in the ring. So nobody really thinks that, about a pro debut, about lower level fighters. They're not elite. What they're going to do? But nah, you're a big punch. Anybody can take it and anybody could get killed. And it's not just a big punch. Enough punches to the head could swell up your brain and you die on your way to the hospital. There's a lot of shit, a lot of damage that you can take that can end up taking you out. So, much respect to every single fighter who step in the ring, regardless of whether or not they're famous, a champion, a big name, any of it. You could be, a guy with a record of 5 wins and 10 losses. Much respect to you too. I respect every fighter for that reason. You putting your life on the line every time you step in the ring. That's just the way it is, my peoples. That's the reality of the sport of boxing. And think about this. MMA is a brutal sport. MMA is a brutal sport. But how often do we hear that somebody died in MMA? We don't hear it that often. I can't remember when's the last time I heard somebody died in MMA. And in boxing, people be dying every year. Whether it's in Africa, in the U.S., in Europe, different fighters be dying. In Asia, different fighters be dying because, when it's just punching and all these punches to the head, they can take their toll. El Musa, the best 2020-25 Fury. From 2000 to 2025 Fury, damn, that's a long stretch, bro. That's 25 years. I'm not sure about that. I got to evaluate that. You're talking about 25-year span. There's been a lot of good heavyweights. In Fury's era, I'll say Fury was doing his thing, but now we have to look at Usyk. Because you got to remember, Usyk became undisputed at cruiserweight and then became undisputed at heavyweight. And by the way, he beat Fury, who chose not to do a rematch. So, come on now, Fury's up there. El Musa, Usyk, is the new face. Nah, he's not the new face, my brother. He's not. Look, right now I go outside to 5, 6 boxing fans and I show them a picture of Usyk, they're going to have no clue who he is. They're going to be like, who's that? They're not going to know. So you can't be the face of the sport if people don't know you like that. Usyk is the best heavyweight, but he's not the most popular. He's not the most popular heavyweight. Because, look, even AJ, I guarantee you, AJ right now is a lot more popular, more known on the world scale than Usyk. William P. Manny Pacman is the best boxer in my opinion. Floyd number 2, or I'm tripping. Just my opinion. No, that's a good opinion. Listen, if you have in that number 1 spot Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, that's a good opinion. Like, there's a reason. Look, Max Kellerman once made an argument as to why Manny Pacquiao is the number 1 fighter. And it was a very good argument. He said, look, Manny Pacquiao, look at the division that he came from. Did he start like at 112, I think it was? or not even 112. He started under 112. So Manny Pacquiao turned pro and moved up all of those divisions and kept having success all the way to welterweight. The 154 title, that was at a catchweight. So I'm not even going to bring that up. But for Manny Pacquiao to go all the way to welterweight and still have success, people don't realize how crazy that is. Look at Floyd Mayweather, for example. Floyd Mayweather's a 5-division champion. He's a 5-division champion. And he stood at welterweight. He stuck it out at welterweight. If Floyd Mayweather would have wanted to attempt what Manny Pacquiao did, he would have had to climb up to like 160 and still have success at 160. But he didn't. He stuck around at welterweight. So he was smart. At the end of his career, he was protecting that record. He wasn't going to risk it versus a much bigger guy. Look at Oscar De La Hoya. What happened when he tried to fight Hopkins at 160? Got stopped. Look at Tito Trinidad. What happens when he went all the way to 160? Got stopped. So great fighters, that's common. They keep moving up, 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 up until they get to a weight that the guys they fighting are so big that they get beat. Floyd Mayweather didn't do that. He stuck around at welterweight. He didn't keep moving up. So that's the point. Manny Pacquiao, for him to move up all the way to welterweight and still have success, that's insane, bro. That's insane. That's crazy. So for that reason, it is legitimate to say, yo, I got Manny at number 1. El Musa, he just beat the best Fury. He lost to Andy. Who lost to Andy? Or AJ. AJ lost to Andy. El Musa, fat Andy Ruiz. El Musa, AJ is a chump. Ah, come on, don't say that, bro. I mean, AJ, he might be done, but he was still a very good heavyweight. He's still a 2-time champion. Come on now. Come on, bro. You're talking about a 2-time champion. And AJ got a good resume. He got a solid resume. Gene Ferreira, Brazil. Shout out to Brazil, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. But again, my peoples, back to business. Tank Davis, Lamont Roach, who y'all got winning the rematch? It's looking like it's going down on June 21st. Looking like it's going down on June 21st. Who y'all got winning that fight, my peoples? El Musa, Mike Tyson lost to a chump. Damn, El Musa, you just go around calling everybody a chump? God damn. But yeah, my peoples, who y'all got? Y'all got Tank Davis, y'all got Lamont Roach. Lennox lost to a chump. Damn, you think everybody lost to a chump, apparently. William P., I got tanked by UD. That's fair. Tank Davis, unanimous decision. JJ's in there has Roach. How you got to win in that fight, bro? How you got to win in that fight? Put up a poll. I'm not going to put up a poll now, my brother, because I'm about to slide. This live was supposed to be an hour, and we're already 13 minutes past that hour. But I still want to see everybody's opinion, you know, who got Tank Davis winning, who got Lamont Roach winning, and how. Hash Bass. Manny got put to sleep, and Cotto and Oscar was a catchweight. El Musa. Alexis Arguello lost to a chump. What the fuck? Everybody lost to a chump, according to you, brother. Now, my prediction, I already told y'all. I think that El Musa, Oscar lost to a chump. Okay, El Musa, that's it. You getting corny now, bro. You're getting corny now. Now you just here just disrespecting every fighter at will. Come on now. JJ's in there stopping Tank. Stopping Tank by 8. Damn. That's bold right there. Because you know what? Tank Davis could take a shot, bro. Tank Davis can take a shot, bro. You know, I've seen him eat some good punches and not be fazed by that. People don't realize, even though he stopped Ryan Garcia, Ryan caught him with some good shots. Some real good shots. And Tank was right there. So, it's hard for me to see Tank Davis getting stopped. Honestly. JJ Sendejas, get him out of here. Yeah. He acting like he want to get out of here. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna waste too much time, man. He out of here. He out of here. He talking too dumb. Floyd lost the belt at 147. Floyd had the belt at 147 and 154. But the 154 was a catch weight, just like Manny. I think you brought up that Manny was a catch weight. I didn't bring up Manny at 154. That was a catch weight. So, Floyd never officially moved up and fought at 154. He fought one catch weight fight. But again, for Floyd to do 8 weight classes, he would have had to move to like 160, 168. He was smart. He stuck around at 147 and only fought for a 154 belt at a catch weight. Ernest Morales, I believe Tank will make the necessary adjustments and will win by KO. Possibly by KO. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. And I say it's fair enough because we already know the type of fighter Tank Davis is. Although, honestly, I do feel like Roach got his number and he's not going to be able to knock him out. They're going to be fighting for points. And I do think Roach is going to be able to outbox him. We have to wait and see how this plays out. Arch30, maybe you answered this already, but I saw your video and you have good potential in your fight. Why didn't you start your career earlier? That's a great question, my brother. So when I was an amateur boxer, I was planning on turning pro. My plan was to turn pro at about 20, 21 years old. But when I went to the Golden Gloves, I lost in the semifinals. And that derailed me because in New York City, if you go to the Daily News Golden Gloves and you win in the semifinals, the finals is in Madison Square Garden. So in a way, I was kind of looking past my opponent. I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat this guy up. I'm going to go to the finals. I'm going to be in Madison Square Garden. Like, I was so amped. And when I lost in the semifinals, like, that took my hunger away. And the thing is, not only did it take my hunger away, I didn't have a team to motivate me like that. I just had my one trainer, and that was it. And he had more fighters. Actually, my trainer, for a while, he used to train Chris Eubank Sr. So he had some professional fighters, some amateur fighters. So when I stopped running, then little by little I stopped going to the gym because I was making a little bit of money in the streets. I was getting the girls, and I was living a lifestyle that kind of pulled me away from boxing. So it started with me not running as much. Then I was supposed to go to a tournament, to the Metros, I think it was. And I was far from making weight because I wasn't eating right. I wasn't running. So basically, bro, losing in the semifinals, my kind of hunger went away. I started focusing on other things. And then I just stopped boxing. I quit boxing just like that. And I always wanted to turn pro, and I never did. That's why at 44 years old, I was like, you know what? I don't want to get to be an old man and say, damn, I never boxed as a professional. And that's why I had to do it. That's why I ended up doing it, my brother. JJ said that his Tank is going to get risky because he's going to be listening to all the talk about him, and he's going to try to get Roach out. But it might hurt Tank game plan. I do got to say, my brother, that if Tank Davis puts Coach Cal as the main coach, that could also make a difference. Ernesto Morales, Floyd won at 154 versus Cotto. That was at a catch weight. I think they fought like at 152 or something like that. Hash Bass, he fought Cotto at 154. Ernest Morales, Tank has more to improve on. I mean, I think honestly that Tank Davis underestimated Lamont Roach. That's just how I felt. Because, he had the usual slow start, usual give up the first couple of rounds, and then pick up the pace later on. So him falling behind on the cards, I think is something that he does a lot because he's going to knock you out later on. But that's what happened. He was not able to knock Lamont Roach out, and we saw how that played out. So I think in this next fight, we're going to see a difference in that aspect. I don't think Tank Davis is going to have such a slow start. We're going to see, but I think he's going to be more active from the beginning. He's not going to give up a few rounds early on. Not like that, like he did in the first fight. So I gotta say, my brother, I feel like in this case, if Lamont Roach got his number, like I think he does, I think that this fight is gonna play out the same way. I think this fight is gonna be very similar to the first one. I believe it. Only difference is Tank may have a little bit of a faster start, and he's definitely not gonna take a knee or do no crazy stuff like that. He's gonna try to keep his composure, no looking away, talking to the referee, and getting punched in the mouth. I think he's gonna be smarter this time around. My peoples, I'm about to get the hell out of here. Before I do, as always, I want to give a shout out for everybody who came through. I appreciate you guys, as always, talking boxing, giving your opinion. We argue, we debate, we talk about the sweet science. Gotta love it. This is what this is all about. You already know what this is, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center. And you already know, man. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow morning. We're going to do it again. We're going to talk boxing. We're going to do what we do. Salute to everybody that's up in here, my peoples. I appreciate y'all. I'm out of here, man. Let me go get my dinner. I got to eat. Peace.